Hey crafters, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our citrus handbag. Now we were going to call it, well, an orange or a lime or a lemon or a grapefruit, but technically you can make it whatever you want, which is why we just called it citrus. So we're going to start off by just kind of doing some paper piecing on some of the very simple elements. Okay, so we have this back layer that is going to act as the seeds on this, and we don't really need to ink this because the white layer is going to go on top and it's going to kind of hide the edges. I suppose if you want to hit the white with some ink you can, but I kind of don't want to blemish it. I really want that white to pop, so I'm going to leave it as is. Not much inking on this project actually. Okay, so we're going to put the, and this is some glitter paper from 12 by 12 cardstock in a really cool color, very flashy, almost has an 80s vibe. Okay, so next we're going to put this layer on. This is a cool little way to give a summer gift, whether it just be just because or for a birthday. And again, you can make it a lime, you can make it a lemon, grapefruit, orange, whatever you want to make it. Essentially, it's a citrus. Okay, so now I'm putting, this is a pearlescent. It's going on some glitter, so of course it's gonna need a little extra love. You just wanna make sure you get it nice and centered. And you can see that it's really scooting around because that glitter just ain't having it. So by the time it starts to get nice and tacky, I want to make sure that you've got it in the right spot. And I can tell that as I'm pushing down, it's really moving all around. So just be conscious, be aware, focus on what you're doing, not having it. So just be patient. And worst case scenario, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put this underneath my mat and let my mat just kind of hold it flat. And we're going to repeat that same process since we have this design on both sides. Might as well. I suppose if you want to save paper, you can leave the one side blank and just use your glitter on one side. It's up to you. I think it looks cool with the elements on both sides. Okay, so let's get that lined up, press it down. This part, it's not hard. And actually, the entire structure of this is relatively simple as well, which you'll see. If you put together our little woodland, what do we call it? I don't even remember what we called it. The new tissue topper. We used a little skeleton piece, very similar to what we're going to do to build this structure as well. And you know what, maybe once we get it in place, I'm just gonna kind of just keep pressing down instead of moving it around so much. And just let it get a grip. Next thing we're gonna do is put our little handle together. Now we wanted to kind of reinforce it, which is why it's 4 layers. We have some very, just some small little overlays, only take a few seconds to put together. So not a big deal. I'm gonna see if I can maybe just pop that underneath my mat. Let the mat do the rest of the work. Okay, so with these, we're going to start off with these handles here. Okay, and you'll notice that there's little score marks down here at the bottom. These little tabs we're going to use to secure the handle to our structure. So go ahead and fold it, but we're going to fold it back because we're going to glue these back to back like this so that I have my texture side facing out, and only up to the point of the score mark. So go ahead and apply your glue all the way up to the score mark. Grab the other side, and we're just kind of sandwiching them together. Make sure that these little detailed areas line up. If you get that, the rest of it will naturally fall into place, like so. And you can actually flatten those tabs out. Since we didn't put any glue on them, they're not going to stick to each other, obviously. Okay, that looks good. And then we have another overlay. I'm gonna have one for each side. And this one I did ink, just to give it a little oomph. I'd love for someone to make these all up, one for each citrus fruit. And maybe there's citrus fruits that I don't even know about, or maybe I just can't think of them right now, but think of the major ones. You got your lemon, lime, orange, and grapefruit. What else is there? I don't think there is. Maybe there is. Well, there's like blood orange. So you could really, you know, get kind of creative with the colors. Okay, so we got this one in place. This is going to go all the way down. And this is going to go on the other side. So our handle is going to be 4 layers thick. We have 2 layers for the actual tab that's going to hold it in place on the structure. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, next we're going to grab these pieces here and we're going to put one on each side, left and right, front and back. And then we're going to embellish that with a little gold foil, some textured gold foil. There's a cute little piece. Okay, it's going to go on like that. Do the next one. Yeah, like I said, the structure is not really difficult. It should go together pretty quick. So if you're looking for a cute little handbag to give a small gift in, this will fit jewelry. This will fit definitely a gift card. Some beauty supplies. You could give this to a male. Well, I guess it's a handbag, so maybe it's not so much for a guy, but that's okay. I feel like you guys make a lot of stuff for your girlfriends anyway. Okay, so this is going to go on here like that. Just match that up with the shadow layer, like so. Okay, and then we have, again, a little bit of gold trim, and that's going to go at the very base of each of these sections. So we have a little bit of white showing, and then we have the gold. I think the gold's more appropriate than silver since we have such warm colors. There we go. Pop that into place. There we go. That looks cool. That's pretty. We'll flip it over, do the same on the other side. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the handle, and we can start putting together the main structure, which, like I mentioned, relatively simple. We got just a handful of tabs that go onto what we call a skeleton piece. For those of you that know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And not difficult at all. All right, so there is the handle portion of our handbag, nice and sturdy. Again, we're going to feed these through, spread them out. You're going to get attached to the inside of our bag. We also have a little dimensional flower. This is, I guess, a citrus flower, one that you'd find on either a orange or lime tree. I'm going to take and use a dowel, starting at the base, just kind of lifting the petal up about 90 degrees and running the dowel through, just to kind of give it a little bit of a curve. And you can see here on our leaf, this is going to be a little tag. This also has a score mark going through the center, which you can take and kind of crease to create some dimension. That's going to get glued right there. You can write the person's name on there. We're going to hang that from the bag once it's all said and done. Okay, but in the meantime, we're going to start off with this piece here, the piece with the teeth. You'll notice on the texture side, there's a series of score marks here, which you can also see from the inside. Okay, and what we're going to do is take this other piece with the teeth and glue it right up to the little score mark there to make this all one long continuous piece. Okay, I want to make sure that this actually tapers in, so don't try to align it flush with one side because then it's going to make it wonky. It does taper in, So really try to focus on getting this nice and straight. Now here's what you want to do. You're going to start off by applying glue to this entire section, all the way down to the bottom. And then on this piece, I'm going to put glue right up at the very edge, and I'm going to spread that glue out. I need a little more than that. Spread that out to the very edge, because I want this to be as seamless as possible. So we're going to take this now, and now you'll notice that there's tabs on the ends. Make sure you're gluing the right side to the right place. Make sure you're not gluing the tab side. Pardon my head if it's in the way. Make sure that's nice and straight. Press that down right at that seam. Then let's flip it over and make sure that that taper is going in. And mine seems to be a little bit off, and I can see why. I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to try that again, because I lost focus there and was not looking at that little score mark at the end, and one side was lower than the other. So we'll try that one more time. It happens. There you go. Use those score marks as your guide. Make sure they are, pardon my head, evenly aligned. There we go. I think I got it that time. Okay, press that down all the way. Okay. Let's take a look at that taper. Yep. That's better. Not perfect, but good enough. Okay, so now what we want to do is very gently start kind of training this. Give it a curve. Okay, you might want to do it while it's still somewhat wet. Okay, this side obviously is only one layer, so it's not a big deal. All right, so I'm going to grab this piece now. Has our lip and two sides. Okay, and what we're going to do first, let me flatten this out. I'm going to take this, and this is going to get glued under this piece here. So what we can actually do is lay this down flat and glue this right to that section there, making sure it's nice and centered. So go ahead and apply your glue right there. Spread it out. I'm going to put that down flat. It doesn't matter which side. And pop that right into place. Make sure it's centered right up to that score mark. Press that down. I'm going to hold that for a second. Okay, there we go. Fold that this way now. Press down. And now I'm going to start taking these tabs and gluing them onto the face of this part. And as you can see, it should terminate right here on the other side perfectly, and it does. Okay, so here's what we'll do. Let's see. Yeah, let's do it this way. Let's start by applying some glue to, let's just say, 6 teeth at a time. So there's 6. Let's put those underneath and flat on your surface. I'm going to push this up against this surface here that I'm holding with my left hand as far as it'll go while we press down from the inside. This is perfectly, well, it's a half circle, so it's already round for us. And there you can see the tabs taking hold. All right, so we'll just continue down the row here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take and put those tabs under. Oops. Pushing this way with my right hand as I push down with my left finger to get those tabs to stick. Okay. And most of the shape is already taken place here, already forming. So there's 6 more tabs. Tuck those under. It doesn't matter if we blemish the face of this piece that I'm holding with my left hand, because we've got panels that are going over it. So don't worry too much about perfection right now. You just want to make sure that those tabs get a good hold. There we go. Should be a relatively quick project. There we go. And you can see how that lines up perfectly. Let's just get these 4 tabs glued down. Okay, so I've got glue on the remaining 4. I'm going to tuck those in, push them up against the skeleton piece as far as they'll go, especially right here at the very end. I would give that little area a little extra attention. We want that to be nice and secure. Okay, this tab's going to go under now. And that's going to get glued like so. Need to fold that better. There we go. So now what we can do is take and apply some glue to this tab. Spread that out to the very edge. Okay, and then take this little lip and just line that up as accurately as you can. Make sure to keep it nice and straight. I might have went a little heavy on the glue there. It's okay. There you go. All right, we're going to flare these tabs out because again, these are going onto the face of the bag. This is going to go in, and this is already pretty much holding its shape, right? So we'll pretty much start wherever we want. I'm going to go over here on this side, and let's just do 6 tabs at a time, fold them over, tuck them under. You're not going to be able to see this one as well as the other one. And pushing against the side, up against the skeleton piece as I press down on the tabs from the inside. Now let me show you here is an alternative if you want. You can just glue these down by applying glue here and then pushing them down like this and then just holding it, but I really like to use my surface and I like to be efficient with it and do more than 1 tab at a time. Okay, so fold these over, put them down on your surface. They're tucked under, pushing this way up against the skeleton piece as I'm pushing down with my finger on the inside. There we go. Okay, you can see which tabs we've done and which ones are left. Just a handful left. This is probably the hardest part, quote unquote, of this assembly, which isn't even that bad. Fold those in. Okay, tuck them under, make sure they're in there. Okay, and then just use your finger to push down on the tabs while you're pushing this up against that liner as close as you can, or as far as it will allow you to. Okay, and there you have it. Yeehaw. Okay, check your corners, check your angles. Everything looks great. Okay. All right, next, we're going to take this really long piece here, and this is going to get glued on the side. It's going to go all the way around, like so. Okay. So what we're going to do is very carefully, I want to start by anchoring this, and I don't know that I want to train this. I think that because the change is so gradual, I'm just looking at how the paper's sitting without me having to do anything, and it's hugging it pretty good. So I'm not even going to train it, but what we are going to do is start by anchoring it to one side, just so that we have it nice and centered. Okay, let's spread that glue out to the very edge. Okay, and just bring it up flush with that lip. You can kind of feel with your fingers if it's flush, top and sides, because that's going to kind of set the tone for the rest of the placement of this piece. Once it's flush there, take a look and see if it is nice and centered. If it is, then you should run your finger along the edge and it should feel centered. Okay, so I can put this down on my surface, kind of push from the inside here. Really get that to stick. That looks nice and solid. So what we can do now is flare this out and begin applying your glue. Try to get your nozzle in there as far as you can. And I would just really focus on the perimeter, mostly. Give it a little squiggle here and there. And then of course, the very end is important. And very slowly, just start working it along the surface and just kind of smooth it into place on both sides. Run your fingers along the edges. There's a storm of brewing out there. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Looks like it might miss us, but there we go. Should terminate perfectly here on this end. Just hold that in place while it sets. You can see how it hugs it very nicely. Okay. That's literally the hardest part, I think, which isn't even that bad. These are gonna be cute. These are gonna be really cool. I have a little gap right there. I'm gonna fix that by just grabbing a scrap piece of paper and just poking a little bit of it in there with some glue on it, and then pressing that down. Get it nice and clean looking. There we go. Okay. All right, so kind of on the home stretch here, guys, believe it or not. Kind of want to decide which side you want. Let's see, that's the liner. Doesn't matter which side is front or back at this point. I think that's going to be my front, which means that we want this going like this. This is going to go over like this. We need to put this on first. I'll explain why in a minute. Okay, but when we do that, I just want to make sure that, let me fold this nice and strong. There we go. So we're going to actually just put glue on this part of the tab here, and I'm going to fold it back this way so that I can get glue all the way out to the very edge towards the perforations. That's going to be more important than the other side. Oh, let's get a little more than that. Spread that out right up to the edge. Okay, and then flip it back and pop this on so it's nice and centered. Take that score mark, place it right over that edge, make sure it's centered, and then press that down into place right there. Make sure it's nice and flush with that edge, and then you can take it, put it down on your surface and press down from the inside. Let's see how it closes. Perfect. And that is making good contact. I'm gonna keep pushing down here. Okay, so now we have this piece here. You'll see there's a little B on it. It's B for back. That's gonna get glued on like this, right on the back here. Okay, so you can actually take and just apply glue to this entire surface, especially around the perimeter. Okay, and just want to line that up, especially right up at the top. Make it flush with the top where the lid is. And press that down. Just run your finger along the perimeter, like so. That looks nice. You can put that down on your surface and push down from the inside as well. Okay, looks good. All right, now we're going to grab this piece, and that's going to go on right here, like so. This one does not, the other one had a B on it. This one does not. This one has no label whatsoever. And we're going to do the same thing. Make sure I'm doing that right. Yeah, I am. This is almost done, really. Wow. Pretty cool. I tested some ink on the inside of this, which you can do because once we glue this down, no one's ever going to see the inside. Okay, make sure it's flush at the top, centered. You can feel that edge. And then press it down along, whoops, pushed a little too hard. Bring that up a little bit. And then just continue working your fingers gently along the perimeter. Make sure everything's nice and flush along the perimeter. Okay, there you go. That looks really good. And just keep holding that in place, making sure that we have no gaps. Okay. Next, what we're going to do now is take our handle and pop it through as far as it'll go. I'm going to open this up, and we're going to apply glue to these tabs and then push them up against the inside, like that. And like that, just spread them open. Same thing on the other side. Press that one there. And this one onto here. And this final piece is actually used to cover up that seam there. And you're going to kind of have to do this in midair, otherwise you're going to risk crushing your handle, which is okay. Just go easy on the glue, keep it around the perimeter. Oops. I got this is the smooth side. Got the texture side out here. Okay, and that's gonna be a little bit of a border all the way around. Just very gently run your fingers along the perimeter. I did not think I was gonna get this done in 30 minutes, to be honest. This one went way quicker than I thought it would. We're not quite done though, but we will be soon. Okay, so to keep this closed, typically, I mean, we're gonna use a Velcro dot. If you guys have those, you can get magnets. If you wanna use magnets, that's fine too. I know that some handbags utilize little magnets to keep things closed. What I would do is just take and put a little Velcro dot close to the edge in the center on the bottom here. Let me get that in frame. I like to use a little razor blade to get this other backing off. Just makes it easier. And then go ahead and close it nice and tight. Make sure it's flush at the top there. And bring that down and press right where the foam square is, or not foam square, Velcro dot. And then go ahead and lift it up. And there you go. So that's in place. Let's go ahead and close it again. Now, what's left to do is grab these fellas. And you can see here, there's a set of little markers to help you get this centered. But there is the end result. Super simple. Just throw some glue on this. This is cardstock on cardstock, so this will not be a problem. This will be nice and quick. There we go. Make sure that's nice and flush. Right up at the top, centered using those little score marks. You can push that down like so. Make sure it's making good contact throughout. Flush at the top. That's cute. Super quick too. So do the same thing on the back. And then, like I said, if you've got that little tag, just gonna glue the flower to that little circular part of it. And then there's a little hole already cut into it, so you can run some cord through it. Make sure you get this side nice and centered as well. Flush with the top. Press that down into place. I got some glue remnants on there. That looks great. Okay, that looks even. That looks great. Okay, here's your little tag. Throw a little dot of glue on there. Grab yourself some bling, maybe a pearl or a rhinestone to put in the center of that. And then I have some gold cord here, and I'm just going to feed it through. Make it as long as you want. I think it's kind of cute if it kind of hangs off right there. You could even take what's it called, a zot or something, and affix it so it's kind of, you know, stays in place. Put it around the handle. You can actually, you want to put it completely around the handle like this so you can move it around, that's fine. I'm going to go like right about there. And then for the sake of my photos, because I want to make it look really cool, probably use a little 3D Zot or something and have it sitting like this or something. We'll see. But you get the idea. So that's pretty much it. Super quick, but really cool. Very, very summery. And I can't wait. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing one in each variety of citrus fruit, which I'm sure somebody will do. And I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please visit us on our YouTube channel. What are we at now? 64,400 plus subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. Also hit the bell so you get notifications anytime we release a new project, whether it be paid or free. And if you make this in any citrus variety, I'd love to see it, and so would the rest of our 46,000 dreamers, part of the Dreaming Tree Official group. So head over to your Facebook, do a search for Dreaming Tree Official. That's where you'll find myself and all of our crafty friends. So hope you join us. And again, thank you for hanging out with me, and I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where you'll find over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly tutorials. I'll see you in the craft room.